Olá pessoal, aqui é o professor Fabiano Ferreira do Instituto Militar, trazendo para você, na sequência dos nossos estudos, a resolução da prova do Instituto Militar de Engenharia do ano de 2010. E temos conosco a professora Jessica Marques, que estará trazendo a resolução hoje a partir da questão de número 21. Jessica, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Okay, let's start.
Let's start with number 21. In these questions, we're going to read the passages and we're going to respond to the questions with the answer that best fits. Okay, let's start number 21, which says, modern buildings incorporate exciting forms with glittering facades and compelling interior spaces. Surveying for these projects requires sophisticated computation, aggressive quality control, and close interaction with construction teams. According to the passage, which of the following sentences correctly completes the idea? That's why letter A says, today's architecture presents new challenges for surveying engineers. Letter B, modern buildings demand intriguing shapes. Letter C, construction teams devote so much survey to facades aesthetic. Letter D, complex architecture doesn't cause harm to the environment. Or letter E, quality control teams behave aggressively against construction teams. If we look here, we can see that the correct answer is letter A, because letter A affirms that the architecture of today presents new challenges for the engineers that do surveys. If we look at letter B, we can see that it doesn't make sense because it says modern buildings demand intriguing shapes, and these different forms are only part of the constructions. Letter C is incorrect. Construction teams devote so much survey to facades aesthetic because it's something that's not even mentioned in the text. Letter D, complex architecture doesn't cause harm to the environment. That's something that's also not even mentioned in the text. Letter E, quality control teams behave aggressively against construction teams. We can see that the text has something to do with an interaction between the times of construction. It doesn't have any relation to anything in the text either. So the correct answer is letter A. Okay, let's go on to question 22. Tick the alternative that corresponds to glittering, still keeping the same meaning of the sentence. We have A, glossing, B, gliding, C, gladding, D, gluing, and E, gloating. So if we look here, we see that letter A would still keep glittering because glossing is to shine just like glitter. Gliding would be to glide, to go down. Gladding would be happy. Gluing is to stick, and gloating is to show satisfaction. So once again, letter A, glossing, makes the most sense. Okay, let's go to number 23, which says, picture yourself on a tranquil tropical beach. The late afternoon sun warms your face, chest, and legs. Squeaky clean sand sifts through your salt-flavored fingers. Your mind thinks little further than the splashing of waves on the shoreline and the light flickering off shoals of little fish whizzing around in the crystal-clear shallows. That's the scenario on many Pacific islands, where the sands, in an inevitable process, are always shifting. Therefore, which of the following sentences correctly completes the idea of the passage? Letter A, environmentalists should find suitable means of measuring and monitoring shoreline sand movement in the region as a solution to avoid the process. Letter B, it's useless that the administrators of the islands plan their infrastructure. Letter C, visitors should not throw garbage along the shoreline. Letter D, the waves and winds bring different specimens of fish to the shallows. Or letter E, tourists should enjoy as much as possible. It might not be there next week. Okay, going through the answers, we see that letter E is the one that correctly fits because it refers to the scene that, due to the changes of the sand, can transform. The other alternatives introduce elements that don't relate directly with the affirmations present in the text, making a coherent continuation impossible. So we see that A, B, C, and D are out. And the correct answer is letter E. Let's look at number 24. According to the passage, it can be inferred that the sand shifting process mentioned in the text is A, warm, B, natural, C, limited, D, parasitical, or E, moving. If we look here, we see that the correct answer would be B, natural, because we're talking about something that the sand shifting process can be changed by. If we look at warm, warm has nothing to do with how the sand would shift. Limited, nothing either. Parasitical or moving. The only process that can happen is a natural process. So B, natural, would be the correct answer. Okay, let's go down to number 25, which says, the phrase, "Your mind thinks little further than the splashing of waves on the shoreline," means that A, the splashing of the waves disturbs your thoughts, which can't go further. B, your mind is relaxed only if you look at the splashing of waves. C, you are not worried about the waves because they splash far from you. D, the splashing of the waves helps build a perfect scenario for relaxation. Or E, the waves splash far from the shoreline. If we look here, we see that the correct answer would be D, because it confirms the general idea of the text, indicating that the splashing of the waves helps build a perfect scenario for relaxation. A is incorrect because it doesn't confirm with the general idea of the text that it would create a relaxing environment. B is incorrect because it indicates a relation of dependence, of relaxation, in relation to the waves. C would be incorrect because it's a different feeling than the expression that we're speaking about. And E is incorrect because it's affirming the waves splash far from the shoreline, which is completely opposite of what we're trying to say here. So once again, the correct answer would be letter D. Okay, let's go take a look at number 26. Built in the mid-1960s, the Riverside Drive parking deck in Elgin, Illinois is quite large. Approximately 1,000 feet, 300 meters long by 60 feet, 18 meters wide, and nearly all of it over the Fox River, the deck is built on hundreds of piles. Large concrete cylinders push down into the muddy river bottom. Precast elements in the piles used high tensile steel wire for reinforcement, and that steel is now rusting. A trail-sized piece of the deck has even fallen into the river, causing concern to local authorities. Okay, let's look what we ask here. Question 26 says, about the Riverside Drive parking deck, which cannot be concluded. Letter A, the concrete cylinders used in its construction were made stronger by adding metal to their bodies. Letter B, the deck should be analyzed for further renewal. Letter C, steel has been used in order to prevent the possibility of rusting. Letter D, its structure contains steel. Or letter E, it needs repair. So let's take a look at number 26. If we look at the answers, it says, about the Riverside driving park deck, which cannot be concluded. So what does not go along with the sentence? Letter A, the concrete cylinders used in its construction were made stronger by adding metal to their bodies. Letter B, the deck should be analyzed for further renewal. Letter C, steel has been used in order to prevent the possibility of rusting. Letter D, its structure contains steel. Or letter E, it needs repair. Okay, for the first look, if we look at these options, we see that letter C, steel has been used in order to prevent the possibility of rusting is the one that's wrong, so that would be our right answer, because it's the only thing that goes completely against the text, because here it says steel has been used to prevent the possibility of rusting, when in our text we see that it says that the steel is already rusted, and everything else that we have here confirms the text. So letter C would be our correct answer.